Hello, welcome to the Management Channel. My name is Alexis. I'm a lecturer in strategy, portfolio, project, and operations management. In this short video, I'm going to establish the difference between life cycle phases and project management process groups. And we're going to see the relationship between the two. So if you Google project lifecycle phases, chances are some sources are going to give you project management process groups for project lifecycle phases. What I'd like you to know in this short video is they are not the same. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Now we'll start by talking about development approach, because this is all related to what we're going to talk about. So a development approach is a method used to create and evolve the product, service, or result during the project life cycle. So project life cycle could follow a predictive, iterative, incremental, adaptive, or a hybrid method. So as you can see here in terms of development approach. So a predictive approach is going to be useful when the scope of the project can be defined at the start of the project. If you can't do that, a predictive approach is not the best approach for your project. A hybrid approach is combinations of adaptive and predictive approaches. Adaptive approach is going to be useful when requirements are subject to a high level of uncertainty and volatility and are likely to change throughout the project life. So you're going to see the relationship between adaptive, iterative, and incremental. And an iterative approach progressively adds features to the project scope until the final deliverable is complete. So you are adding, you have iterations to create features, for example, to a software that you're developing. Each feature may be functional, so it may be something you can do with it, but because you create one feature doesn't make the software is complete, doesn't mean that. So incremental means that it's an adaptive approach in which the deliverable is produced successively, adding functionality until the deliverable is considered complete. So it could mean you are adding functionalities that you can actually use until you have a complete project. That's one way to look at it. Now, what is a project phase? Though that's a key question. So a project phase is a collection of logically related project activities that culminates in the completions of one or more deliverables. So other names you may have heard for project phase, they call a project phase a kill point, a quality gate, a decision gate, phase gate, a review gate, etc. Those are the same concept, but with different names throughout the project management literature. So project managers must understand what activities are carried out and what deliverables are produced within each phase of the project. So here's an example here. We have this project with 6 phases: startup, plan, development, test, deploy, and close. These are called phases of a project. So what happens in the startup phase, for example, you create a project charter, you establish funding requirements, you assemble project team, you perform a stakeholder analysis, you hold a kickoff meeting. Now, these are things we do. So as you're planning your project, you have to understand how your project will unfold over time and plan accordingly. So that's what this is about. For example, you don't deploy software before you test it. You don't test a software before you develop it. Those are things you can't do because you have to develop the software first, and then you have to test it. So how about project life cycle? So I'll just give you an example of what a phase is. So project life cycle is the series of phases that a project passes from its start to its completion. So the project life cycle will be determined by the development approach. Remember, predictive, adaptive, iterative, etc., and the desired delivery cadence. You know, how many deliveries that you're planning for in this project? Is it a single delivery, multiple deliveries, or periodic delivery? So here's an example here for software development project. As I said before, some people may have design as a separate phase for the project. Here we have analysis, design, construct, test, roll out. Now, what you need to know, not all methodologies will use phases. Some projects use what we call flow-based scheduling, where they don't use phases to manage the project. So here you need to know what is in the backlog, what is the priority to working with your customers. So I took the opportunity to compare project lifecycle phases and product lifecycle phases. You have to see here the relationship between the two. When you introduce a product, what you need to introduce the product, you need a project. So the project create the prototype that you need to manufacture to introduce to the market, so that there is this relationship between the two. So as you can see here, this is the project lifecycle, and this is product lifecycle in comparison here, side by side. So let's take a look at the difference here between lifecycle phases and project management process groups. To my left, you have project lifecycle phases, and to my right, you have the project management process group. Now, the project management process groups are a series of interrelated activities that you perform to deliver a project or a phase of a project. So as you can see here, for each phase of a project, to my left, you could use the project management process groups to initiate, plan, execute, monitor, control, and close, and start over. This is what we call an iterative process, where each phase of the project is actually treated as a project itself. So as you can see, there's a clear difference between project management process groups and project management lifecycle phases. And most importantly, you need to know monitoring and controlling is not a project phase. It is a set of interrelated activities that we perform to monitor and control the work of the project. So that's going to be all for this video. Take a look at the sources that you probably, or I think that would be a good idea for you to review if you have the time. Now, subscribe to the channel to receive an alert when new videos are posted. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.